Good morning, Warriors. I'm Kirsten Fisher with your news for Thursday, November 12th, 2020. The student forum will be held today, November 12th, during first period. Please have your student representative log in at 7:50 a.m. We would like to not interrupt class with an announcement. The Google Classroom code is P H C H F L E. The SGA food drive. Cans must be turned in before 8 a.m. on Friday the 13th. The class who brings in the most cans will win a prize donated by SGA. And for either of these things, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact Michael DeLeonardo at michael.deleonardo@palmbeachschools.org. And now to Jason.
Thanks, Kirsten. NHS members, please join the Google Classroom with the code GQ4UFY6. This classroom will serve as yet another form of communication for distance learners and brick and mortar students as well. Any questions, please see Mrs. Sparks in room 1155. And now to Haley Grimes.
Thanks, Jason. Dobular. Winter Guard auditions. The band is holding Winter Guard auditions on Monday, November 16th and Wednesday, November 18th at 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the band room, 8103. Please wear comfortable clothes to dance in. There is no experience necessary and anybody can join. Please join the remind by texting at SOJST to 81010. See you there.
Boys basketball tryouts. There will be a mandatory Google Meet through the Boys Basketball Google Classroom today at 3:30. The code to join the class is LP54SMX. The meet will cover all tryout information, including times and location. Please see Coach JD in room 6106 or email him at joseph.deepasquale@palmbeachschools.org if you have any questions. And back to Haley.
Thanks, Kirsten. Student athletes. This is the last week to turn in your packets if you wish to play winter sports. You cannot try out until your packet has been cleared. As always, for any questions, email Ms. Drum or find her in 10112. The spring sports window will be announced at a later date, but you can start to turn them in after Thanksgiving break. Please do not turn in any spring packets before that date.
Baseball. For anyone who wants to play spring baseball, your completed athletic packet is due to Coach Mook December 12th and or 17th. Any issues, please see Coach Mook in room 6215 or email him at andrew.mook@palmbeachschools.org. And back to Jason.
Thanks, Kirsten. JV football conditioning will begin on November 30th. All interested players should register with Coach Freeman at rob.freeman@palmbeachschools.org. And back to Haley.
Thanks, Jason. Juniors and seniors, are you interested in being a part of the Social Studies Honor Society? If you have a 3.0 semester grade average in every Social Studies course taken, a 3.0 overall GPA, and no out-of-school suspensions, you can apply. Online applications are available on your Social Studies teacher's Google Classroom. Hard copies can be found in Mrs. Hansen's room 5112. All hard copies must be turned in the front office bin or room 5112 when completed. If you are a senior and were accepted last year, you do not need to reapply. Also, one more thing, they are due by 2:40 p.m. on Friday, November 20th.
Latinos in Action Projects, Toys for Tots to Guatemala. Bring donations to the courtyard from 7 to 7:30 a.m. through November 20th. Back to Haley.
Thanks, Jason. Speak Up for Kids is putting together 15 baskets filled with essentials for kids in need. For every $10 of items donated, one community service hour will be awarded through Speak Up for Kids and Guardian Ad Litem Foundation. Bring all sealed and unused donations to room 6207. To join the Remind, text at SpeakUpF to 81010 or enter the code in the Remind app. Contact Rachel Fasberg or Aspen Inaway with questions, or go to speakupforkidspbc.org.
And now, to make up for the very few announcements that I've had this episode, well, as they say, more announcements, more problems, we're going to balance that out when I give you The birthdays of the day. Happy birthday to Elena Amon, Logan Bodie, Alyssa Barassa, Jaden Brault, Riley Greenstein, Marin Hunt, Lance Larson. We're only halfway through. We've got Brennan Milliard, Escarleth Moya Mendoza, Jacob Shank, Joshua Shank, Maris Torres, and Emily Sang. And that is all of your birthdays for the day. But guess what? I'm also giving you the Key Club quote of the day. It's back. And the quote is, "A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new." That's Albert Einstein. And now here is day 3 of Anne Frank's Through the Eyes of a Friend for Holocaust Education Week. Have a great day, Jupiter.
Anne went into hiding in Amsterdam, but she was originally from Germany. She was actually born in 1929 in the city of Frankfurt. Her dad was an officer with the German army during the Great War, or as they called it then, the War to End All Wars. We call it World War I. And even though he was a decorated war veteran and served his country, it didn't protect the family from what was to come. In 1933, Anne is 4 years old. Her family has to escape their home as refugees. The Nazis have taken over, with Hitler as their leader, and all other political parties, other than the Nazi parties, are now forbidden. They're gone. For anyone the Nazis don't approve of, anyone the Nazis hate, their lives are in danger. The Nazis may target you for your race, your religion, your ethnic background, your politics, your thoughts. Being Jewish puts Anne and her family directly in the crosshairs. They're in a lot of danger. So they get out while they still can. Where they go isn't far. They cross a border. But the border they cross from Germany to Holland, it's like night and day. They are now in a safe country, a country that's opened its borders at the time. For the Frank family, it means a new lease on life. Anne's dad opens a new business, and Anne's family moves into the apartment building you see behind me. She loves Amsterdam. Yeah, she has to learn a new language, make new friends, go to a new school. But we really realize how much Anne loves her life in Amsterdam from her writing. This diary is a birthday present from her dad for her 13th birthday. And she even helped him pick out just the one she wanted. Her original diary is a red plaid book with blank pages. And in the beginning of the diary, Anne's basically writing about what's going on for her. She writes about school, after school, boys, movies, theater, sports, and a lot about boys in general. But even though everything seems okay in her life, the world around her is not okay. When Anne began writing this diary, World War II had begun. What ended the Great War was the Treaty of Versailles. And in that treaty, among many other things, Germany had to promise never to build another army. With Hitler in power, he says basically forget that, and he creates one of the most powerful armies the world had ever seen. So powerful and fast, a new word is invented, blitzkrieg, lightning strike. The Nazi forces are able to invade and occupy Holland in 5 days. And what that means for Anne and her family is they're in danger again, but now they're not only in a Nazi-occupied city and country, they're basically in a Nazi-occupied continent. There's nowhere to escape to. One of the first things the Nazis did when they took over is they labeled people, because often you can't tell by looking at somebody what their beliefs are, what their background is, but a label will do that. You were ordered to register at Nazi-occupied police stations. You had to give the Nazis your name, your address, your race, your religion, your politics, and then you were in the system. When they ordered you to wear the badges to identify yourself, they had ways of making sure you were, of tracking you down. Anyone who was Jewish had to wear a yellow Star of David. For Anne and her family, they had to buy these badges with their own money. They had to sew them on their clothing. You couldn't pin or tape it on. And even where you placed it was particular. It had to be on the left side above your heart like a target. So when Anne walked out her front door, that badge was showing, and she was no longer an individual. She could be marked. People could call you names. They could beat you up. They could fire you from your job, kick you out of a school classroom. You were vulnerable. But you may also notice there's other badges that folks had to wear. People of many other backgrounds were being persecuted by the Nazis. Some of the examples, one is the purple triangle, and those were worn by Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah's Witnesses were hated for their religion because they wouldn't fight for Hitler.